in Yellowwood State Forest right now.
That's right.
In Brown County.
Yep.
And how far? I'll have you tell us about the change in the race. Originally, it was 24.2 mile marathon. Is that what it was?
26.2 miles is the marathon distance.
26.2. Now, our unusual storm that came in last night dumped all this pretty snow, but it made the roads treacherous.
It did.
Tell me about having to make the decision to change things this morning.
Well, the decision was actually out of my hands. So what happened when we got up this morning is we noticed there happened to be several inches of snow on the ground, and we were thinking about what might happen with the buses, because we have to bus our runners from the finish line, which is right here, up to the start. And that's almost an hour-long bus trip to get them up there to the start. And so
we got a call. 700 runners?
We've got 700 registered. Usually we have about 600 that would actually run. 600, 650 would actually run. Okay. And so the bus company called me and said they're not going to do it. So the decision was made for me, and we had to come up with a backup plan. Fortunately, I had enough time before I actually got that call to think about how we were going to work that, and we created an out and back course that started and finished right here at Yellowwood State Forest. They didn't use the first half of the normal course at all. They just ran backwards on course, turned around, and came back.
Okay. Now, we had close to 650, 700 then were actually running? I was one of the guys that was up at the start line, so I missed the start here at the finish line. But we found the runners eventually. So tell me about the launch of the race. How did it go, and how many did you have?
I don't know the exact number yet. We haven't actually got everything squared away in our computer system, but I'm going to guess that we're probably in the mid 500s range. I know the weather has kept some people away. So we're probably 550 to 600 up there. Upper end would be about 600 people. So it was a little challenging. We had some people who did go to the start. They're not. It's not suggested that they drive themselves to the start, but some do. And those that did that, they had to find their way back.
Which we all did.
And it was so we had some late starts. We're going to give them a time credit so that they actually can see their real time compared with all the other runners.
With the change in the race, going up to what, mile 16 or station 16 and then back. Did you end up with the same amount of distance? Yeah,
the distance is the same. A marathon is always 26.2 miles, so we ran to about the 13.1 mile mark, made a U-turn, and came right back with them.
I mean, you know, that 26.2, that's a fair piece to run in conditions like this.
Yes, and this is a tough place to do it. The trails here are very challenging. They're very steep and can be narrow in places, and with the snow it makes it extremely hard. It's an extremely
There's
hard
a lot
race.
of elevation change over and over again. Some of the trails are kind of rocky. Of course, one of the runners was telling us the snow actually helps cushion where normally you have the exposed roots and rocks. So
true.
Hey, you got to find the positive in everything.
That is true.
You know, Brian, I'd like to go ahead and tell me just a little bit about Dino and some of the other events that you do during the year.
Well, this event, as we mentioned, is a fundraiser for the Hoosier Hikers Council, and it's unique in the way we partner up. But Dino stands for Do Indiana Off-Road, and we have about 22 different events every year. They're about half trail running like this one, but we have all distances from 5K on up to this marathon. And the mountain bike series that we offer has 7 races throughout the year, and you featured that on one of your shows earlier. And that has a variety of levels from introductory racers to up to expert pro type racers.
And you have really good attendance at all those events
too. Those are big events too. Not quite this big. This is our biggest one every year, this event here.
But why the beginning? It's December 4th. You run the risk of ice and snow every year.
Yes.
Why would you pick your biggest event of the year this time of year?
Because the runners like it. Actually, they like the weather being a challenge. You'll see that they're all pretty happy. They're very happy.
Out there,
even though it's brutal conditions, they love it.
Yeah.
And the reason we did it this time of year the first time was because of schedules of other races, our own event schedules that we had set, and other marathons that were going on. This is a time of year when there's not many to compete with us. So we put it here, and it's stuck. It seems to be the date that's stuck.
This is eighth year?
This is the 8th year.
8th year. So and I talked to some of the volunteers, and they've been coming for years to help out.
Yeah, the volunteers, most of the volunteers on the course are from the Hoosier Hikers Council, and they do a fantastic job. They really go all out to provide for the runners. Some of them have hot foods at the aid stations. There's music. I think you were at that aid station.
Oh, we had some great Christmas music playing. The little bridge across the creek was decorated in Christmas decorations.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. They get into it.
Tell me about the aid stations. If we had normally been from start to finish, how many aid stations are there, and what is their purpose?
There's normally 10 aid stations. They're about every 2 to 3 miles on average throughout the course. And the first ones serve mostly water and a sports drink. Okay. Then as you get farther along, we start offering other things like cookies, pretzels, bananas, energy foods that they can take. Some of them have hot liquids to drink, so hot cocoa or soup to help for those people who are getting really cold. Okay. So the goal of those aid stations is to support the runners. It's also a place where we have ham radio communications to make sure if anybody's hurt, sick, or needs to drop out, we take care of them at those locations.
And I parked next to an ambulance at one point too, so we've got EMTs on site if anything were needed.
That's correct. Yeah, the ambulance roams around as needed to different locations should there be a problem. We have a finish line medic that takes care of finish line incidents that need to be taken care of too.
Great. Well, I know you need to get back to announcing, so I appreciate the time here. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Indiana Outdoor Adventures. If you own timberland or open land, Hawbury Forestry Consulting specializes in timber sales, timber management, and wildlife habitat management for private landowners. We are also experienced with timber stand improvement, contract tree planting, and reforestation work. Our specialty is wildlife habitat management. If you own land and want to see an increase in deer, turkey, quail, and grouse populations on your property, we can tailor a management plan specifically for your needs.
Man, I've been all over this farm. There ain't a bird in 5 miles of this place.
Hey, man. Obviously, that ain't working.
Try this Derby City call, Old Girl Striker. Take it for a ride. Now that's what I'm talking about. Check out our complete product line at derbycitycalls.com. Derby City, it's your call.
Enter to win a free turkey hunt with Indiana's 2010 Turkey Calling Champion. Indiana Outdoor Adventures is offering a free drawing to anyone age 18 years and older. The winner will receive a 2-day turkey hunt in southern Indiana with Indiana Outdoor Adventures pro staff member and state turkey calling champion Jack Rollins. The winner will receive a gift pack of custom-made turkey calls, a weekend stay in a log cabin, and your hunt will be aired next season as part of Indiana Outdoor Adventures. Enter online today at www.indianaoutdooradventures.com. 1 entry per person. The drawing will be held March 31st, 2011. Welcome. We're in southeastern Indiana today with a man called Critter. And we're going to talk about his camera in the woods setup called the Critter Window. So let's go and find out a little bit more about Critter and about this online wildlife viewing that he has.
The Critter Window is a wildlife internet webcam system. We have quite a variety of wildlife, and I've just kind of a side hobby that I bring to the internet for people to view.
And the idea is you've opened your woodland property to anybody on the internet that wants to take a look and watch the wildlife.
That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Matter of fact, our 1-year birthday's coming up January 7th.
Wow. Now tell me a little bit about the system itself. How many cameras, what kind of cameras, those kinds of things that allows us to see the wildlife.
Well, the number of cameras vary. You really never know. I've got like 7 out in the woods now, but I always move the cameras, change cameras if one gets old, something new. I like to keep the variety so it doesn't get boring.
Tell me about the placement of the cameras, and some of that limitation comes from trying to get the signal back here to the computer center.
Well, yeah, I don't use a wireless system. I actually use a professional closed-circuit television system, just like you'd see in any store, Walmart, grocery store, anything like that. I find that it's a lot better quality of a camera.
So it's a closed-circuit security system, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and that allows you, by going to a security system like that, those systems were already set up for multiple camera views and managing those views.
Correct, and I can also record all the cameras at one time and play them back at one time if I wish. Well, right now I'm uploading all the video through DSL, which any of you know DSL is better than dial-up, but not as good as cable. And I only had one video feed for quite most of the year, and here within the last month I've added a second video feed. So now we have two, and that pretty much takes all of my upload bandwidth to get the quality, acceptable quality, up to the internet. So now from this room to a tree house that I have out in the woods is my central location for all my cables, and all of my power runs to this tree house out in the woods. And that's about 550 feet from this room. Then all the cameras run from there out into the woods.
How far do those runs go?
Probably another 100 feet or so. I get people from all over the world, all walks of life. I get a lot of bird watchers. I get a lot of retired or disabled people that can't get out into nature the way they used to. And that's what most of my group is.
Now, you mentioned from around the world. Give me some examples of where are they from?
I have viewers from Europe, the UK, French, Canada. Had one in the other day from Japan. We've had just about every country in the world at one time or another has been to the critter window. Right now I have 2 video feeds, and each video feed has 2 cameras each. So whichever camera has activity on it on that particular feed is the one that we will see. So if there's nothing going on any of them, then it just sits kind of still and waits for something to come along.
Okay, and you do help that along a little bit by putting out some corn, some suet cakes.
Yeah, I have a feed mixture that I've pretty much come up with that works well here with the different critters that we have. I feed a mixture of sunflower seed, cracked corn, and whole corn.
Okay. Tell me about some of the critters. What are your ultimate moments, and who are the regular visitors?
Regular visitors are umpteen thousand birds. We get lots of cardinals and the blue jays. It's amazing how many people around the world have never seen cardinals or blue jays. And with their bright colors, they really show up on camera well, and people just love them. We get muskrats, we get mice, we get beavers. We get beavers that come and feed. Coyote, deer, red-tailed hawks, owls. We've even had the owls and the red-tailed hawks actually catch muskrats right on camera. And, during the spring, the ducks just about ate me out of house and home. We must have had 50 baby ducks, from the mallards to the wood ducks. The wood ducks are beautiful on camera. Get to watch them go through their molting stages and watch all the babies grow up.
Well, Critter, we want to thank you for having Indiana Outdoor Adventures here. And people, we want you to go and look at his webpage, the Critter Window. And you can see all kinds of animals, all hours of the night and day. And we're on a beautiful piece of property. And Critter, we just can't thank you enough for having us out.
Glad to have you anytime.
Good luck with the project, and hope things keep expanding and your viewer numbers increase. And
that's the goal.
Good luck with it now.
Thank you very much.